everybody. Okay, so my name's Christy. I posted a thing a little bit earlier on my Facebook page about brushing your dogs during this coronavirus and you're home with nothing better to do. People with long hair dogs, brush your dogs. But then I had some fantastic comments of, hey, well, what about the nails? You don't have a long hair dog, but can you show people how to do nails? And I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. I'll use a cookie and we'll do the nails. So I'm going to show you a few tricks and tips that I use to be able to do dog nails. Now, are all the dogs going to stand still for you? No, it's not going to happen. Not every dog is perfect. Cookie doesn't like her nails getting done, but she tolerates it. She's okay. Are all the dogs going to let you do their nails? No. But most dogs ideally will let people do their nails. You take the dogs into the groomers, hopefully you take them someplace to get their nails done, so at least you're able to have an idea of what your dog is going to be like when you do the nails yourself. Some dogs act a lot better for groomers than they do their own humans. Okay, so I'm going to show you, like I mentioned, a couple different ways. One of them is if you do have somebody in the house who can assist you with doing the nails, then I'll go ahead and show you kind of what they can be doing while working on the nails. And then, of course, if you do happen to be alone, which I do it fairly often by myself, I'll show you what I do. If this does not work for you, that's okay. Okay, there's a ton of YouTube videos out there, Facebook pages out there, and there's so many different ways that can help you with knowing the best way to do the nails for your animal. I'm just going to show you what works for me. Is my way the best way? No. Is there other ways? Yes. Look around, see what works for you. I will not be doing the nails on the cat today. But yeah, we're going to go over a few things, some items that you'll need, what you'll need to do, and a few different techniques of how to best get this done. Yes, ready? Go get it. Okay guys, so some of the tools that ideally you should have while doing the nails. I recommend you always have some kind of quick stop in the house when doing anything with animals, honestly. There's points where cats could get their nails stuck on things. Dogs could break off nails, whether you're doing the nails or not. I think it's a good idea to always have quick stop. You could use it for so much. If you don't have quick stop, cornstarch, there's a few different things that you can, if you have around the house, look up a list. I'll try to look up a list and put it in the video someplace. A list of different things you can use if you don't have quick stop. Second thing you'll need, trimmers, dog nail clippers. Hi, Cookie. There's a ton of makes. Again, if you're going to be trimming your dog's nails, don't get the cheap stuff. The cheap stuff, they break easy, they don't trim as well, they don't last as long. I don't honestly use these that often, but I will show you how to use dog nail trimmers when I drop them. I will be showing you how to use these. And then, take it back, that's a lie. I do use these in the salons when dogs come in and their nails are way too long and I don't want to totally ruin the Dremel. I'll use these just to take a bunch off and then finish it up with this. This Dremel, it is a normal Dremel. It's wireless, so it doesn't need to be plugged in when you use it. Invest in one of these. You could use it for dog nails or so many things around the house. Dremel, this one's good. It lasts a long time. 2 settings on this one, low and high. High is quite a bit louder, so if your dog's not used to the noise, you might want to start with low. I like the Dremel, it does a good clean job, and there's a lot of different makes, a lot of different prices, so the cheap ones usually do a decent enough job. If you're not working in a salon, they'll last a pretty long time for your little dog that you have at home. One more thing to the people with hair that you will need. Rubber bands. Okay, so these buggers, the plastic and metal clippers, it's not so bad. You could clip with hair and whatnot, but when you end up using the Dremel, it gets stuck in your hair and it's really not pretty. So, one more thing before we end up actually getting into it. There's a lot of people who will use like human nail files and whatnot. It's totally fine. I'm not going to bash it. It will take you a lot longer to do that than by using an actual nail trimming method. Can you do it? Go ahead. I won't. It takes too long. Some dogs will lose patience by just holding their foot and trying to file it with a human file. If your dog lets you, go ahead. And then one more thing when it comes to the quick stop. I would like to say that if done well, you won't make your dog bleed. Okay? Experts, people who are experienced, who've done this for years, they still quick dogs from time to time. All of the dogs have different length quicks. There's no way to say just how long it is. White nails, sometimes, not always. White nails, you could usually see where the quick ends, so you can stop just before you hit it. When it comes to red dogs, brown dogs, black dogs, gray dogs, a lot of times their nails will match their skin. So there's no way to see where exactly the quick ends. Quicks can be longer on different dogs. They can be shorter on other dogs. So read out your dog. See how long the quicks are. Take things slowly, okay? Don't rush it if you don't know what you're doing. Don't try to take more off with these guys if you don't know what you're doing. Little bits at a time. The biggest thing is not to stress your dog. If you quick the dog, that stuff fast. It'll help with the bleeding, and this stuff actually has something in it that helps with the pain. So it'll help keep them from being too sensitive, which is a plus also. With all that being said, go ahead and find your canine specimen. Hello, bub. So first things first, go ahead and get your mess of a hair up out of the way. So, dog's foot. Okay, so you have the foot, and then you have the nail. On the outside of the nail is just the nail wall. Like a human nail, you can cut it, you can trim it, it's just fine. The dogs do not feel when you cut the outside wall. One bad thing about these trimmers is when you cut the dog's nails, is they sometimes pinch the nail. That would be the only time the dog would feel these buggers is when they pinch the nail or when you hit it quick. So be careful when you do use these. The dogs don't like the pinching sensation, and it is a little bit easier to hit the quick because you're not taking a small amount off at a time like you can inspect with the Dremel. So the dog nail, outside is, the easy part that you cut off. And then of course the quick is in the middle. Ideally the quick is what you want to try to avoid. So as the nail goes like this, the quick will come somewhat in. You want to be able to cut it like so. So you don't want to cut it like that. You don't want to cut it like this, like this. You want a nice clean cut just before the quick. If you hit the quick, it's going to make the dog bleed. It's uncomfortable. They're not going to enjoy it. That's when the quick stop comes in. Again, people who have been doing this for years will still nick the dog's quicks. Don't feel bad if you do. Just be prepared that when you do, the dog is fine. The dog will live. Walk it off. Don't stress, okay? The best of the best, quick a dog. Try to avoid it, obviously. Don't try to purposely quick the dog, but do what you can. So let's go ahead and kind of just go over what we'll do. So if you're cutting the dog's nails alone, I'll go over that in just a second. What we're going to go over first is how someone can distract your dog if you happen to be cutting the dog's nails. So with the Dremel, Hello. Oh, and just another heads up, I did just do her toenails a few days ago, so they don't need that much off. I'm kind of just going to show you how to see what you need to be able to see to identify where to stop, and then just how to round them off a little bit, clean them up a little bit. Also, my attire, guys, stay home. You don't need to be any place. I'm in sweats, okay? Don't go out. Don't spread the disease. Stay home. Cool? Cool. Okay, so if you happen to have an assistant, ideally it should make things a little bit easier. Sometimes people do have dogs that even with assistants, you won't be able to do the dogs at home. Cookie, thankfully, is okay with or without an assistant. So we're kind of just going to go over how you guys could do this at home if you don't have anybody to help you. And of course, if you do have somebody to help you, we'll get both ways done. Okay, cool. No, I'm not giving you a command. Good. Stay. I know. So, make sure the dog is standing. Make sure your assistant is comfortable where they're at. They could be sitting, they could be standing. Ideally, I would rather people, if you guys don't really know your dogs that well, I hate laughing at that if that happens to be true. If you guys don't really know how your dogs are going to do with people, you might want them standing to back away quickly. Depending on the size of your dog, you know, a Mastiff or something bigger than Cookie, she's like 60 pounds. Something bigger than Cookie will tackle him and take him down to the ground. Then it's just going to be a lickathon. Make sure they're comfortable and good and secure. So, go ahead and take the first foot. And again, she doesn't enjoy having her nails done. So when you do them, turn it on before you get to the foot. That is quite loud. I'll do low setting. Okay. So, she sees it, she understands it, she knows what it is. She doesn't like it, but it is what it is. You take the nail. Okay, so in the beginning, holding one of these buggers when you're trying to do the nails, it's awkward. It doesn't feel normal, it doesn't feel natural. So you pick up the foot, you take this, and you have to hold the toes, and we'll get a closer up of how exactly I'm doing this. Hold the toes and move the toes with the Dremel. Pretty much you're holding the Dremel like this. At least I do. And then I'm using this one to hold the paw pad. So if she kicks or anything, it'll help move this away. So that way you're not going to hit anything with this. We'll see if she'll kick on one of the feet. We'll be able to show you that. A lot of dogs will kick and move. If they do, you'll likely Dremel off these two fingers. They look rather funny. If your dog happens to kick. If they don't, lucky you. So, with assistance, if your dog is the kind of dog who's just not going to be okay with this, I'd probably recommend putting a leash and collar on the dog, so that way your assistant can at least have genuine control of the dog. Cookie's good. She's not going to go any place. If we want her to stay, she'll stay. Not every dog is like that. If you do have a dog like that, good job with the training. If you don't have a dog like that, that's okay. That's most of the dogs out there, it seems. So, yeah. So make sure your assistant is good, he's comfortable, all is well. Cool? And then he's just loving on the dog, he's talking to the dog, he's encouraging the dog, letting the dog know that it's okay. Pretty much just distracting the dog. What your assistant can do, distract with the head. Hi. If you mess with the head, it's actually close to the ears, so it's putting a happy scratchy noise on the ears. It's distracting them from the noise of the Dremel. So I find that helps quite a bit. So you scratch and love on their head. I know. Then the Dremel isn't quite so bad. because they're distracted. Yeah, I know. A few more things that they can do. Hello. I know, we're so excited. They sneeze on their face. Okay, stop. Another thing that I do like to do, especially when people are doing nails, if I'm working on one foot, then they should try to, if they remember, scratch another leg. If they're putting the focus on another leg, then they're not so worried about what you're doing with the leg that you've got picked up, because you're scratching and distracting them with another leg, which is just a scratch. They don't mind being pet, they don't mind being scratched, but it's just a matter of, giving them something that they're comfortable with. Let's talk feet. Let's go over a little bit about what I'm seeing with my dog. There's a lot of longer hair dogs out there, which make doing nails a little bit complicated. This will pick up hair, just like human hair, this will pick up dog hair. So if you're trying to do nails and it picks up on hair, it's gonna twist it up, likely pull it out, or it's just gonna get tangled up. It's gonna cause pain for the dog, they're not gonna like it, and it's gonna be a negative response from doing their nails. You guys don't want that. So if you feel confident with picking up your fluffy dog's foot, moving the hair aside from every single nail, and doing the Dremel, and you think you could do that without getting tangled up, go ahead. It is possible. It's not as easy, okay? So if you happen to have the clippers with the longer hair dog, if your dog's nails are long enough, it doesn't just need a quick touch up like Cookie does. If your dog's nails are long enough that you can use this with the long hair dog, this might be easier for you just because it won't get tangled up like the Dremel will. So again, keep things fun, keep things exciting. Cookie shifts a little bit. One thing that I do notice that a lot of people happen to do, come here, go ahead, I know, come here, good, jump, good. Okay, so one thing that I notice a lot of people do is when you're doing their nails, if you're working with their feet, and the dog happens, no, she's not gonna do it. Let's say the dog shifts or moves, people will drop the foot. By dropping the foot, you're training the dog that, oh, well, if I want to fight this, if I want to get away from this, all I have to do is exactly that. Fight it, move it, get away from it, and they'll let me have my foot, and they'll stop what they're doing, okay? That's going to make a huge nightmare for groomers because they're trying to do your dog's feet, but the more they, groom the feet, shave the feet, work with the feet, the dogs are going to just keep fighting them because they've learned at home they can get away with it. If you're not comfortable holding your dog's foot and hanging onto it, now if the dog starts thrashing and rolling, obviously, safety of yourself and the dog, don't push it. But if you are confident doing it, do it, okay? Don't let go of that foot. If you let go of that foot, a lot like horses or any other animals, you're positively reinforcing a bad behavior. They don't want it, they pull away from it. You give them their foot, that shows that they can get away with it. Okay? That's not what you want. So if they happen to move, wiggle around a little bit, don't drop the foot. Stick with the foot. Cool? Cool. If you don't have anybody else assisting you, I just showed you how to do the front feet. Hi, cat. I would show you how to do a small dog with the cat, but they don't cooperate like that. I just showed you how to do the front feet when you're by yourself. Let me go ahead and show you how to do the back feet. With this size dog, it makes it quite easy because she's pretty much the exact same height on my knee right here. So I could actually rest her on that. If you have a smaller dog and you're comfortable getting down on the ground, sit on the ground, okay? Have the little dog here, front feet in front. Hi, Coke. Good. So you'll have the front of the dog on this side of your leg, the back on this side. And I'll show you what I mean on this dog in just a sec. So that way with the little dogs, you can just rest them here. So if they lose balance or something like that, they can fall on your leg. Then you just pick up the little dudes and just one toe at a time, just work it one toe at a time. Don't move faster than what you're comfortable with, but move fast enough that the dog doesn't sense you're nervous. So let's go ahead and get done with Cookie's back feet. I'll show you how to stand her, and then we'll go ahead and get a close-up of the actual foot detail and the nail detail, what you guys should be watching out for. Okay, so Cookie, come on. Come on. Good. Stay. I know. Stay. Good. So, we have the dog standing like so. She's not happy. She's tense. The tail's between her legs. She doesn't like her nails getting done. But this is a good example for you guys seeing a dog who doesn't enjoy this. That's why at the end, always try to keep things happy-go-lucky and fun. So, with the dog slightly distracted, she likes belly rubs, go ahead and hold the hip and just put your leg underneath, just like I just said. Take your tool of choice. Again, I'm using the Dremel because I just did the nails a few days ago, so I'm just cleaning them up a little bit. They don't need any length off. I'm just cleaning them up. If your dog's nails are really long, go at it with one of these first. Up. Above. I just clicked my dog like a horse. Yeah, I don't even have any nail on this that I can even use these with. But if you do have a dog with long nails, trim them up with this first, just a little bit at a time, until you get to a pretty good cut, which is where these are at right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the feet. Up. Good bug. So I like to just hold and cup the foot, and this way it's going to give you access to move the toes with all of your fingers. You want full control. Now she'll likely try to kick and push away as I'm doing these. That'll be a good way for you to see not to let go. You can pause. You don't want to hurt the dog or accidentally hit the dog or something. So you can pause, just don't put the foot down. So here, again, I did them not too long ago. So you can see they're kind of flat on the bottom. I know, love, hold on. Kind of flat on the bottom, but the bottoms are kind of a little bit soft. There's not a whole lot that I can take off of these. But directly in the center, there's kind of white and dark spot. I'm going to be going around that. I'll probably lighten it up just a little bit more so that way you guys can see the detail of what I'm talking about. So, with the Dremel, stay above. Okay. Just by going over the top really quickly, you can see there's white. It's a little bit softish pinkish around this area. You don't want to make the dog bleed, but this is around the time that you would make the dog bleed. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit more. Ideally, this isn't bad. I do like to round it a little bit more than most people should or like to. So we'll just quickly clean them up, make them look a little bit better, and then we'll go from there. So see how I'm holding the toe, holding the Dremel. Next toe. Stop. Okay, bad example, but there's not even a whole lot. I barely quit her, stop, on this one. So don't judge me by my nails. But I did end up quicking her a little bit on that one. That is why you always have quick stop close by. You pick some up, you put it on, and you hold it for a few seconds to actually get in there and do the job that it's designed to do. Put this off to the side, because if a dog steps on it, it's going to go all over the place. That's a mess, and it's not fun to pick up. Up. Good bug. Step. Stop. Inspect. Good. Okay, and then next foot. Hey. So with these, I'm breezing over the top quickly, and then I'm just rounding around the outside. I'm using this thumb to control where I am on the paw pad, and I'm using this hand to control the toes that I want to be working with. So this one, over it fast, one way, the other way. Stop. Over. Side. And then we're done. Go bug. Yes, go bug. Food? Yeah, food. Go bug. Food is also a good bribery. So, if you happen to be by yourself or if you happen to have an assistant, one method that I have heard of, which also supposedly helps with baths, is peanut butter or Kong stuffing, filling stuff, is people will put peanut butter on surface. Whether it's bathroom tile or something like that, they'll find something to put on the wall. Probably not a wall that you can damage, but put it on some kind of wall, maybe a door. That will help some dogs, not all, but that'll help distract some dogs. So you're working on their nails and they're licking the peanut butter off the surface. It's just one more trick that possibly might help you. I don't do it with my dog. I kind of just breeze through all of her nails quickly when it's me doing it. So with dog nails, dog, not cat, the dog. Yeah, cats are, they flake and come off themselves, and scratching posts help with cats. But with dog nails, it's insanely important for the dog's overall health to be able to get the dog's nails short. Ideally, the dog's nails should not touch the ground. In most cases, all the cases that I know, but in most cases, I'm sure there's some case out there that people want to say differently, but in all the cases that I know, dogs' nails should not touch the ground. It's not okay for the dog's nails to touch the ground, and a lot of the dog's nails that have come into the salons that I've worked at, that have had too long of nails, they can't walk easily. It hurts them. It pushes against the joints and the ligaments. It's painful. It's neglect for the dog to not do the dog's nails. If they get too long, they can actually curl under and push into the dog's paw pads. And we've seen it quite a few times in salons, and I worked at a vet's office once. That one wasn't quite as long. But you guys have to do your dog's nails. It's so important, and it's such an overlooked part of quite a few dogs, is they just don't get it done enough. If you don't do the dog's nails enough, then the quicks will get longer, which means you'll have to have the nails longer in order to not quick the dog's nails. You can always reduce, take back, not always. Older dogs have long quicks. You can't always reduce all the dogs. But a lot of times, if you trim the dog's nails often, then you can reduce the quicks, which means you can get the nails shorter because the quicks are shorter. Ideally, that's what you want. Do the nails often enough that they don't hit the ground, they don't touch the ground, they don't push up against the joints and the ligaments. It doesn't hurt your dog's overall, body, because it will. It's just something that needs to be maintained. So as long as you do that, all is well. But when you get comfortable doing this, it shouldn't be too hard for you to do the same thing and do it quickly, especially during this time where everyone's stuck in the house and a lot of the groomers are not open at the moment, but your dog's nails do need to get done. This is just a couple ways to try to help you. If you do have the tools already on hand, or if you want to swing by your local pet shop, whatnot, to get some supplies, this is kind of just what you can use. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Cookie, fantastic assistance. Okay, thank you. Love you. If you want to see anything else, let me know. Oh, doop doop.